This video was sparked by Tara McCarthy's recent video about her 666 AOK hand symbol. She denies that it means anything other than AOK. It's just a joke. It has no meaning at all. There's nothing nefarious about it. And maybe from her perspective that's true. But I think from the other people who use it, such as Cernovich and basically everyone else on the so-called alt-Lite, I think it's not just a joke. I think it's more than that. I think it's an inside symbol, a symbol of an inside group, and it's an insider's message, not necessarily meant to be understood by outsiders. And, what is the alt-Lite? What do we see it as? What are the common traits that make up the alt-Lite? Well, one of the most common traits is that they are either Jews, half Jews, or part Jews, posing as so-called white nationalists, or people attempting or pretending to stand up for Western civilization, whatever that is to them. And the idea of a Jew or a part Jew being a white nationalist is suspect from the very beginning. Everyone should be suspicious of that. Of course, it's possible for a Jew to be 100% on board with white nationalists with no bad intentions or no devious, underhanded intentions at all, but more than likely, it's the exact opposite. And we often see these people are always spouting half-truths, watering down the original message of more alt-right or white nationalist figures, and basically muddying up the waters, creating confusion, subverting messages, diverting truths, and basically creating a state of confusion, which I think Jews have always been well known for. This is what they do. The other thing is this 666. Now, would we relate that to Jews or Judeo-Christianity in any way? Does the number 6 come up related to Jews, Christianity, Islam, any of that sort of thing? I mean, does the number 6, is that relevant to these type of people? What do you think? Now, let's hear what Tara has to say about people questioning her use of this symbol.
Hello. So I've had some people asking me why I have a 666 hand symbol in my profile photo, like that. That's actually...
Okay, first of all, I just want to show you something I noticed, something I think is very relevant to everything that comes after this. And let me just go back to the start.
Hello. So I've had some people asking me why I have a 666 hand symbol in my profile photo, like that. That's actually...
Okay, you see that look? That is, I recognize that look straight away. I've seen it many times before, and I'm sure many of you have too. Whether you recognize it or not is a different story. Now, fellas, if a girl is making that look at you, sort of, she's trying to look as far away from you as possible, she's about to fill you up with nothing but pure shit. Yep. She's about to lie to you. That is the look of a liar. They look as far away from you as possible because they know they're about to fill you up with shit. Now, I'm not saying this is a 100% foolproof look. Like you see this, someone is definitely lying to you without doubt. But let's just say it's pretty much a dead giveaway. There is no greater there's no greater tell than this look right here. And I think you'll also notice if you watch the whole video, which I haven't, but I would predict that this is the only time that you will see this look throughout the whole video. And the reason for that is because this is the only time that she's lying. The rest of the video, she's just crapping on about whatever she usually craps on about. But she's about to tell us all a big stinker. You'll also pay attention to her body language, her eyes throughout the next section, and I think it'll just further back this theory up. But let's continue.
Actually, so
Yep.
some people think that means 666 because it looks like 6.
Yeah, some people would think that. We'll continue.
6. Sure, it means 666 to some people.
Okay, so you know that.
But if you ask any scuba diver, they'll tell you it means okay. This is basic sign language. It means okay. And so for a long time, people have been using this to also mean okay, like everything's okay. Kind of
Okay.
like saying peace or whatever.
Or V for victory, right? I mean, yeah, it means peace. But what did it mean to Winston Churchill? More insider symbols.
So that's how it is in Western culture. Obviously, different cultures have even different meanings beyond that.
Yes, they do.
But the funny thing that happened.
Oh, the funny thing. I bet it's hilarious. Let's hear it.
When Mike Cernovich
That cunt.
and a fellow reporter visited the White House, and in one of their photos that they took and posted on social media, they had like okay signs. They were like, okay, like everything's okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. For starters, this is just disingenuous. In fact, it's just wrong. Mike Cernovich makes that fucking hand symbol all the time. He didn't do it in one photo. He's done it in, he does it all the time. So does Milo. So does basically every member of the alt-Lite. It's like your favorite hand symbol. To say that he did it once is just, it's a lie. I think Milo did it in front of the White House as well. The other thing about it is, what the fuck does that mean? So that everything's okay. What does that mean? And she won't go on to explain this at all. She just says it. Everything's okay. Everything's okay, goy. And that's it. You're just supposed to take it for granted. Nothing to see here. Everything's okay. Stop asking questions. Yeah, well, fuck off. What's okay? What's okay? What do you mean everything's okay? What is okay? What is okay? It doesn't make sense.
And what the media did was they actually took that and they said, oh my gosh, they're using white nationalist hand signs.
Okay, but why did the media do that? How did they go from okay, everything's okay, to they're making white nationalist symbols? I mean, there's a huge missing part of the story there.
Because if you look at this, like it can spell out WP.
Yeah, we understand the 4chan white power thing, but only a complete fucking idiot would think that that's a white power symbol. I think, everyone on our side of the fence knows that that's just trolling. It's just nonsense.
If you want to get really creative about it. So they're like, oh my gosh, they're flashing white nationalist hand signs. It's kind of like...
No, a white nationalist hand sign would be a Roman salute or a Bellamy salute. Or a Nazi salute. They would be white nationalist hand symbols. Not fucking AOK. That would be the Jewish bullshit hand symbol that means nothing.
If you've been following this kind of thing on Twitter, you'll see that the media routinely comes out with stuff like, oh my gosh, frogs are racist.
Well, who's the media? Does the media have anything common with this alt-light? Anything that anyone can think of?
Or drinking milk is racist. Drinking milk is a symbolism of white supremacy. And whenever the media comes out with these ridiculous, crazy things, what a lot of us on Twitter who like to bash the mainstream media is we joke.
Do they bash the mainstream media? Maybe they do. I know what people sound like when they're bashing the mainstream media. People like George Carlin. That's what bashing the mainstream media sounds like. I don't know if you guys do that. Anyway.
Jokingly adopt those symbols, such as putting a glass of milk as an icon in your actual Twitter profile, or drinking milk on camera. You'll probably see Paul Joseph Watson, Stefan Molyneux have done this as well.
Oh, so Paul Joseph Watson, Stefan Molyneux. Yeah.
Well, if you go to Stefan Molyneux's channel, there's even one where he's like drinking milk, putting up the OK sign, So if you understand that context, you will understand that it's just us messing with the mainstream media and the mainstream normie people who like to get triggered when they see certain particular hand signs. And in this particular...
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if people are triggered by that. I don't know if anyone thinks it actually means white power or whatever the fuck. And anyway, aren't you mixed race? Why? I mean, have you ever said anything white power or anyone?
For instance, that OK sign was an OK sign, not a 666 sign.
Okay, but that doesn't explain anything. It still makes no fucking sense. Okay, like what does that have to do with anything?
Um, so I hope that clarifies things.
Yeah, you really cleared it up. Now I know exactly what's going on. Fuck.
You know, I'm
You
pretty damn
know,
sure that this is more commonly used to mean okay in the Western world than anything else.
actually, I would say it's mostly used to represent zero, nada, nothing. You know, okay sometimes maybe, but zero. That's what it would mainly be used for. Anyway,
So to think that it means white power or to think that it means 666,
it does mean 666 to a lot of people, and you've already said that.
you know, you might be stretching it a bit.
Yeah, maybe not.
Now, when you see these things where they're like looking through it or whatever, yeah, that is looking a little bit Illuminati to even me.
Here we go. So you take the exact same symbol and you just put it on your eye. Now it's suspect. Do you care to explain that? Because most of the time when we see it, they're not doing it with the eye. They're just doing it. I mean, yeah, they do it with the eye as well. But it's the same fucking thing. It really makes no difference at all. And you're not going to elaborate on that at all. You're just going to say, yeah, it's a suspect symbol, but not when we do it. But you're not going to explain how it's not suspect when you do it. It's just A-OK and that's it. Well, that's not a good enough explanation. It's suspect as fuck.
But just someone just going like okay sign, that's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. Nothing to see here, Goy. Move on. Look, but don't notice.
I went and learned scuba diving myself, and you pick up these little symbols that they have.
Oh, I got it from scuba diving. Really? I wonder if I go to your channel and type in scuba diving into the search tab, will any videos come up? I mean, does your channel have parts of it dedicated to scuba diving? I don't think so. I could be wrong. Probably not.
These little ways of interacting because it's actually quite handy because you can't always talk to someone. For example, this one means
A bit gay?
everything's not okay or things are a bit wary right now, and I still use that today. I'll still be like this. And you just learn
Yeah, you're definitely a little bit like this.
these things, and they're useful within certain social circles. So you use
In certain social circles. Circles. Well, yeah, I think that says it all.
them. It doesn't have to be anything nefarious.
It doesn't have to be, but it certainly could be.
Someone's asking me a question in German. I don't speak German. I'm sorry. Try English.
Yeah, well, I've had just about enough of you. I don't know why the fuck people watch her channel. She's just so boring, I can't even believe it. I'd rather watch Noam Chomsky, to be honest. Oh, just the very embodiment of the color beige. Just bland. Oh, I don't know. People will fucking watch anything. Okay. Now, there really could be a lot to talk about here, but I'll try and keep it as light as possible. I mean, this topic really could run deep, but I don't think there's any point going too deep with it, and I think I'll just lose a lot of people. Now, The question is, this symbol, why do people use it? What does it mean? Well, the truth is, the symbol by itself doesn't mean anything. It means so many different things in different cultures and different contexts that you can't pin it down to a solid meaning. I mean, even in Western culture, it's A-OK, it's 666, it's also 0. And that would be how I would use it. If I was saying to somebody, there's none left, or there's nothing, or 0, I might make that hand symbol. I would certainly never make it for OK. That would be like a thumbs up, maybe. So I guess maybe that's an Australian thing. In Australia, that symbol would probably mean 0. Now, in some cultures, that symbol would mean 3, because you've got the 3 fingers up. Other cultures, it would be the all-seeing eye, the Eye of Horus, the evil eye, the Illuminati eye, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. The eye of God, if you will, or the eye of the illuminated ones. The eye in the triangle that's on American fucking money. The eye of Freemasonry. Now, we also see that hand symbol on Pepe memes. So Pepe was doing it long before these jerk-offs, and I don't hear them talking about how they've related it to him, but it's clearly a thing. He's doing it. There's also, she says, like, it's no big deal, right? It's no big deal. So if it's no big deal, why are you all doing it? Why are you all doing it? And the other thing is, why are no real white nationalists or real members of the alt-right doing it? For some reason, they didn't get the memo. Only the alt-right and these suspicious con artists and weird characters who you can't quite figure out what their actual agenda is, only they are doing it. The explicit white nationalists, explicit alt-right, none of them are doing it. In fact, most of them seem to be reasonably suspicious about this symbol. Now, it is possible that she is completely ignorant of any of this. She has no idea why she's doing it. She just thinks, A-OK, alright, I'll do that. Everyone else seems to be doing it. Someone said, you should put it on your profile picture or something. And she just does it. She doesn't really think about why. She just does it to go along with the crowd. That's totally possible. It's totally possible she has no nefarious, as she said, intentions whatsoever. In fact, that's quite likely. But that would just mean that she's a bit of a dumbass. She's doing things for no particular reason, just because people like that dickhead Mike Cernovich do it. Now, I very much doubt that he is doing it for no reason at all. He just goes around doing it because everything's A-OK. I'm Mike Cernovich and everything's fine. Yeah, well, fuck that shit. I wouldn't believe that if he told me himself. Right, this other thing, denying that the symbol means anything. This is nothing new. We've seen this before. So, Tara concedes that when someone makes that symbol and looks through it, that looks suspect. She called it Illuminati. You know, whatever that means to you. I know what it means to me. And basically, whenever celebrities are asked about why do they do this stuff, people are like, that's a satanic symbol, or that's connected to Jewish supremacy, or that's connected to the Illuminati, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they're like, well, why are you making that hand symbol? What are you, a Satanist? Are you a Freemason? You a member of the Illuminati or whatever? They're always met with this joking attitude, like, oh, it's just a joke, man. Like, we do it for no reason. We just do it for kicks. Well, bullshit. Only a fucking idiot would believe that. They do it everywhere they go. They do it on stage. They do it at photo ops, magazines, and all of that. And the big problem is that I know where that symbol comes from. The main one you see, the Rock or whatever the fuck, it's not the Rock. It's called Cohenum hands. It's a symbol of the Cohens, the high priests of the Jewish religion. It goes way back to the Levites, and there's plenty of evidence for this. It is literally the symbol used by the rabbi during benediction. It's a priestly blessing, a Jewish blessing. And it goes on. Everywhere that Merkel goes, she makes the same fucking symbol. So, who's telling all these people to make this? What are they, just all independently coming up with the exact same hand symbol, which has its roots in the Jewish religion, in the highest sect of Jewish priests, the Cohens, which I'm pretty sure we all know about. Who the fuck's buying that? I'm not buying it, and if you're buying it, you're an idiot. Merkel is the most suspicious character in pretty much all of this globalist nonsense. She is destroying Europe. She's deliberately destroying Germany, and she's clearly doing it for nefarious reasons. The fucking symbol is everywhere. And what it really is a symbol of the mother goddess. It's the vagina. It's found in the Kaaba in Islam. It's found in Judaism. And it's found in the Vesica Pisces in Christianity, as well as a billion other places that are extremely significant. It's not a fucking joke. That's just ridiculous. But, just like the way Milo is a pedophile who basically was apologetic to pedophilia, and everyone just seems to forget about it. The guy should probably be investigated, followed around, and eventually thrown in jail. But instead, he's going to be giving speeches. He's going... people are going to be listening to him and thinking, wow, what a guy. He's just a faggot. What the fuck is wrong with you people? The whole thing blows the mind, doesn't it? You couldn't write this shit. You couldn't. Yeah, well, I'm not fucking buying any of this crap. It's suspicious as fuck. I'm not going to jump to any solid conclusions like this is definitely what's going on. But it's so suspect that it's not worth listening to any of these people. They're all full of shit. They're all clearly back-scratching each other. It's a nepotistic clique. A media clique. Everyone knows Mike Cernovich is just a media whore. He'll say whatever to whatever's a hot topic, he's on it. He's whatever you want him to be. And we all know what he really cares about. The other thing here is this, it's a relatively well-known concept. The idea of hiding symbols in plain sight. Now, there are many reasons for this. I'm not really going to go into them. It's too deep a topic. But the idea of saying, putting the Illuminati pyramid with the Eye of Horus and New World Order written directly on American money, right? It's so blatant that it's undeniable. So it sort of forces people to deny what they know to be true. You've basically created a mental kind of self-slavery, self-denial of obvious facts. Basic psychology, really. So I guess you could say, what are these people's intentions? What are they all doing? What does it seem their main objective is? Is it truth? Is it white nationalism? Is it furthering politics? Or is it just muddying the waters, scratching each other's backs, putting nonsense and confusion into the movement? What do you think? Now, back to the AOK or 666 symbol. What does it mean? Okay, one thing it clearly means is AOK. And another thing it would be 666, which is, I think everyone knows, the mark of the beast. Now, a lot of people think that's an evil thing, but it's not. If you've studied occultism at all, you've studied the ancient mystery schools, you've studied religion, you'll know that it's got nothing to do with evil, whatever you think that is. It's the symbol of the beast. Now, what is the beast? Most people know 666, even if they've never read the Bible. I think there are two main reasons for this. That it's in the book of Revelations. It's sort of a prophetic statement that's also very cryptic, but nonetheless prophetic, that everyone will eventually wear the mark of the beast on their right hand or on their forehead, and that mark is 666. Now, there really is a lot to this. I wouldn't even know where to start. I might come back to this. I'll just go through some other meanings of this hand symbol first. Right, there's a version of it in yoga called the Chin Mudra. So it's commonly used in yoga. There's also the Yana Mudra. Apparently in Japan and Korea, it's a symbol that relates to money. So something completely different again. Now this is interesting. In some Mediterranean countries, such as Turkey, Tunisia and Greece, in the Middle East, as well as in Brazil and parts of Germany and several South American countries, it may be interpreted as a vulgar expression, either an insult, like you are an asshole. It's the slang for the anus itself, or an offensive reference to homosexuality. So that's interesting. In the Arab world, the sign represents the evil eye. It is used as a curse, sometimes in conjunction with verbal cursing. So there you are. Sometimes it is very much a nefarious symbol, a curse, the evil eye. And yes, back to 666. Almost everyone has heard of the term 666, but I would bet $100 that not a single person listening to this has a fucking clue what 666 actually means. Now, this is a pretty deep topic. It takes a lot of study, really, to fully understand the meaning. Well, the multiple meanings. But essentially, 666 is representative of a lower form of man, a hedonistic man, known as hylic man. You could call it animal man, the beast. This is a man who is hedonistic, basically doesn't think about anything higher than bass drives. This would be, your lowbrow man, your basic consumer, or someone who just gives in to the animal delights. Maybe someone who has no control over these things. Your typical hedonist, your just unenlightened, pleasure-seeking pleb. The 666 is representative of the cattle, the plebs, the people who are used, the people who know nothing, think about nothing. A perfect quote about this lower man, or the beast, can be seen at the start of the film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The drug-fueled, hedonistic expression of the American dream, featuring Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro, which is a great movie. I think Terry Gilliam was the director. Really great movie, real psychedelic trip, just total mayhem. And the quote is that he who makes a beast of himself rids himself the pain of being a man. Now, that says it all. That's what the beast is all about. The other place we hear about the beast that's well known is Aleister Crowley, the famous magician, occultist, founder of the religion of Thelema. And most people see him as a notorious character, mainly because of his extreme anti-Christianity. So he was always painted in a bad light, despite the fact that he had a lot of good things to offer. Basically, he was just an arch-hedonist, a total megalomaniac, and he saw acts of hedonism and acts of sex and other things as ritual, being deliberately sinning as a anti-Christian ritual. He saw Christianity as like a spiritual syphilis, a plague on mankind, and he understood from a young age that he was the beast, 666. He identified with it, even before he knew what it meant. He later came to know what it meant, but he understood from a young age that performing acts of what Christianity called sin, that he was performing a magic ritual, sort of counter Christianity, if you will. And his religion is, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Basically the opposite of Christianity. Hyper-individualism, pure will, Nietzsche's will to power in its pure embodiment. No restrictions. And yeah, that's the beast. And I mean, if we look at Revelations, the 666 is spoken of, but there's also a corresponding 144,000 on the other side. And it's talked of the 666 will wear the mark, and the 144,000 will be saved. Now, I mean, no Christians understand what this means, not unless they've studied esoteric Christianity or Gnosticism, occultism, whatever. I mean, some of the people in the world who are the most ignorant of the Bible and what it's all about would be the Christians themselves. They really have no idea what the Bible is, that it's a cryptic book mainly based on ancient mystery religions, occultism, and paganism. I know Christians don't want to hear that, but it's true. There's no getting around it. A literal interpretation of the Bible is absolutely moronic. It's a cryptic book. It's based on very esoteric knowledge. 666 and the 144,000, they're related to gematria, numerology, even the zodiac, if you get enough into it, and so is a lot of the Bible stories. Revelations itself is one of the most cryptic books in all scripture. It's certainly not meant to be taken literally. It's not talking about an actual event. It's more to do with the unenlightened versus the enlightened man. What's the difference? What's the journey? All that sort of thing. Like breaking it down to good and evil, it's just moronic. You're completely missing the boat there. Also, this hand symbol can be found in Buddhism. It's called the Vitakra Mudra, and it's seen often in Buddhism. And that's basically the symbol that Pepe is making. Now, obviously, that's got nothing to do with AOK or anything like that. It shows that this is a sacred symbol. It goes way back. It has many meanings. It's very significant to many different types of people. And to say that it's no big deal, it's just a joke, yeah, bullshit. Either way, all this added up, the denial, the it's not a big deal. We've heard all that before. Justin Bieber said that, Jay-Z said that, Beyonce said that, they all say it, but it's all bullshit. It definitely means something, whether they know it or not, who fucking knows. But, those in the know exactly what's going on. There's a reason we see it everywhere, and there's a reason we see it amongst certain circles. We know the origin of it, and we know what it means to cultures all over the world. I think I'll leave it there. All I'm saying is, it's suspicious. Don't jump to any solid, definite conclusions, but don't listen to what they're telling you. They're full of shit.